On Wednesday, Alberta Premier Danielle Smith headlined a town hall in Fort MacLeod that became the center of controversy around the ongoing issue of coal mining developments on the eastern slopes of the Rocky Mountains. Smith and a handful of ministers were met with jeers and heckling from protesters opposed to new coal projects, with concerns of the potential environmental impacts, including the watershed in southern Alberta. BCN's Landon Hickok has the details.
Hundreds descended to the Fort MacLeod and District Community Hall, where Premier Danielle Smith, alongside ministers Brian Jean, RJ Sigurdsson, and Rebecca Schultz, participated in a town hall that addressed the coal industry and its policies. Many who has come as far as Crow's Nest Pass, either to support or voice their concerns against it, have shown up in vast numbers at the town hall. Many still behind me outside the building couldn't get inside because of full capacity.
It's frustrating to have to be fighting the same fight 6 years later, 5.5 years later. The government just seems to be hell-bent on putting these mines through, especially in Grassy. And 70% of the people in the province have said in poll after poll that they don't want any new coal mining, yet here we are.
We are looking after the water. We are looking after the air. We're making sure our citizens are safe. If I thought for 1 second that my community was in jeopardy, I would not be standing for the yay.
Now, we were able to talk with Premier Danielle Smith earlier before the town hall, where she says that new coal mining projects and developments are crucial for Alberta to become self-sufficient, but they must be done in a safe manner in order that they protect the environment. She vows that there won't be any open pit mines or mountaintop removal, but her critics are not necessarily buying that.
Well, I feel that there was a lot of misinformation and a lot of outright lies actually told by the Premier and by the cabinet ministers that were there, circumventing the truth by moving on to some other aspect that really was unrelated to the questions that were being asked.
The thing is that, yes, that is what Danielle Smith is saying, but she doesn't have scientists backing up the statement. She never brings scientists on board and explains to us how selenium, for instance, is going to be taken out of the water.
Now, reportedly earlier this week, there was a study that's awaiting peer review by provincial scientists that claims there are high selenium levels that have been found in trout and mountain whitefish in the Crow's Nest Lake, which could damage their reproductive abilities. When I asked Premier Smith about that during the scrum, here's what she had to say.
When we look at the selenium in the water, I just have to be clear that there are water standards, and we want to be science-based. The water standards say that water is safe for drinking if it's 50 micrograms or less per liter. And in this particular case, it was 1.3 micrograms per liter, so it's well below the levels that are safe for ingestion for humans and for cattle. What we are interested in is bioaccumulation. That's one of the reasons as well why we have to look and understand a little bit more about why there's a higher level of accumulation in the fish. I think it's important for us to make sure that we've got peer-reviewed studies and that we're following the science.
Now, a few weeks ago, the Alberta Energy Regulator has granted Australian company Northback Holdings with an exploratory permit for their Grassy Mountain coal mining project, an issue that has been contentious with Southern Albertans for years, and it doesn't seem to be going away anytime soon.
Premier Smith and Energy Minister Brian Jean took time to speak with protesters outside of the community hall. Smith was interrupted by protesters while talking to the media, while Jean met with people after the event and thanked them for standing up on their side of the issue.
You guys got interviewed without interrupting your interviews. I'm just asking to be for the same courtesy.
You are a traitor. You are so greasy with the oil from your oligarchs from the gas and fossil.
Poisoning our waters is disrespectful. Poisoning our listen to Albertans. Listen to Albertans. Come on, do the right thing. We're begging. Do the right thing.
You have a good night, and we're going to protect our waters together. Thanks for being here. So we'll make sure we do exactly that, folks. And listen, can I just say something? Thanks for standing up for the water. life.